What's up, everybody? Welcome to Smoking Weed and Talking Mixed Martial Arts. My name is Jarrod. I'm here with my friend Paul.
What's up, guys?
We are coming to you from Las Vegas, Nevada. And on today's episode, Paul and I are going to be getting high and talking about boxing's big upset this past weekend in the Anthony Joshua versus Ruiz fight. We're going to be talking about a spat of retirements we saw after UFC Sweden, plus some of the results from that card as well. And we're going to be taking a look ahead to UFC 238, which sees flyweight champ Henry Cejudo stepping up to fight Marlon Moraes for the vacant bantamweight championship. But first, let's get into our weed of the week.
Smoke weed every day.
Today we are smoking on some glue. It's by Nature's Chemistry, a local company here. I know, it's called glue now. It doesn't feel the same because if you know your cannabis, this used to be called Gorilla Glue number 4, which is a very famous strain. Its parents are Chem Sister, Sour Dub, and Chocolate Diesel. And that was the pipe dropping that was being passed over to me.
Well,
those are all some of my very
I'll give you
favorite
another
strains.
one.
Yeah, this is empty now.
And another one.
Dude, my two favorite strains, like base strains, are anything from the Diesel family and anything from the Chem Dog family. And that's why I like what is now called glue so much, because it has all those in its lineage. And it's actually called glue because Gorilla Glue sued, right?
Yeah. They're dumb.
That's really lame. And they actually sued the original company that created this strain, and we can no longer call it Gorilla Glue number 4. It is now glue, or some people call it original glue. You see GG sometimes.
Yeah, GG.
But either way, it's still the same dope-ass weed.
Yeah, for sure.
I got to hit this real quick.
Well, while you hit that, hopefully it didn't hit you as hard as Andy Ruiz hit Anthony Joshua this weekend.
Man, he hit him hard a lot. Man, what a shocker, dude.
Yeah.
Some people
One of the
compare
biggest
it.
upsets
Yeah,
in boxing
I
history.
say some people are comparing it to the Buster Douglas Tyson upset, which it wasn't that big odds wise. That fight was 42-1. This was 16,
11.
And then it dropped down to 11.
It dropped to
yeah.
11 right before
it
the
was
fight.
the high as 16, dropped down to 11.
Yeah.
And it was a totally different scenario, wasn't it? I mean, let's be honest.
100%.
Buster Douglas flash KO'd Mike Tyson.
KO'd Mike Tyson. Andy Ruiz outclassed Anthony Joshua.
He outboxed the shit out of Anthony Joshua.
Yeah.
It was amazing. I was clowning. I admit, dude. We do the boxing pick article at Slugfest Magazine every week. Neither one of us
Both of us
picked
like,
Ruiz.
the fuck out of here, dude.
Like,
Yeah.
come on, this is a joke.
On 6-week notice, too? Come on.
Yeah.
But, honestly, it's hard to wake up at 5 a.m. when you're sleeping on satin sheets, bro.
Absolutely. Ruiz came in and executed a tremendous game plan. I mean, for those of you that might not have seen the fight and think that maybe it was just, hey, heavyweights, anything could happen.
Mm-hmm.
No, something happened because...
Well, it's not even that it's heavyweights, anything can happen. It is a guy who is an outstanding specimen athletically and physically
In
against
Anthony
a guy,
Joshua, right.
Anthony Joshua, who against a guy who's just a fucking boxer, like a pure boxer.
And let's be honest, he's a boxer who looks like he spent the last 6 weeks drinking beers on the couch, not in
dude,
training
it's like
camp.
DJ
Let's
Khaled,
be
but
real.
it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
In all honesty, he
And that's
looks,
not being mean, that's just being honest. Like,
Yeah.
there's plenty of fucking memes out there making fun of him. But, I mean,
yeah,
he earned
but
my respect.
fuck, it doesn't matter, dude.
holy cow.
He uses it, you know.
And when we say he outboxed him, I mean, he used a very legit strategy.
Legit strategy and much better boxing instincts.
Absolutely. I mean, I made a couple notes of some things that I thought that he did when it comes to outboxing. I mean, for one, he constantly was trying to force Joshua backwards into Joshua's left, neutralize that right hand, which he consistently did that well. I mean, anytime Joshua would try and circle right and line up that hand, Ruiz would just step over, pivot, and cut him off expertly. He neutralized Anthony Joshua's jab. And he did it in like a lot of different ways. He had a lot of parries. He'd parry down, he'd parry to the side. He'd even use his hook, that killer left hook he's got coming over the top to shut it down.
Those
of course,
flurries
he'd
were
block,
intense.
he'd slip. And as you and I were talking about before earlier, which was obvious watching the fight because you see it in all the clips. He did a lot of flurries at strategic moments.
Yeah. Well,
in
he'd
the
wait
fight.
for Joshua to open up, and Joshua would be trying to throw a combo, and he would just out over flurry whatever combo he was throwing.
Yeah, he used his speed advantage, and he got inside and would unload with them
He went to work.
flurries. And I was really impressed. That was a hell of a good performance.
Yeah.
I don't even know if Joshua can beat him in the rematch, honestly. I mean, maybe not,
Yeah.
but it ain't going to be no 16-1, 11-1.
Yeah, no way. I think Ruiz is the favorite going into the rematch.
I think he'd have to be because he outboxed him with skill, not because he got a lucky punch. It's not like he was getting his ass kicked and just managed to fire off a haymaker that slept him. Nope.
And just to
He
be
put in
devil's
work.
advocate here, now all of a sudden we've got some controversy coming out after the fight that supposedly Joshua possibly was knocked out in his final training session, and also that he had a panic attack in the freaking. Like, I don't
heard
know
about the
which
panic
one
attack,
it is.
yeah.
Like, is it the panic attack? Did he get
He didn't
knocked
wanna
out in
fight.
camp? He didn't want to fight. What's going on?
But
But
it
if
looks like
you-
there could be some truth if you see the way
well,
his
yeah, I was
dad
gonna
was
say his
acting,
dad
yeah.
fucking brushed up on Eddie Hearn in the freaking ring, and he was saying all kinds of shit to him. That was obviously we couldn't hear, but
There's
Joshua
some of
had
it
to
was
calm him
broken down. It looked like Joshua was trying to calm his
He was
dad
like,
down
"Hey,
and
it's
saying,
my
"Hey,
fault."
I'm the fighter
Yeah.
here. I'm the one who fights."
Yeah,
Not to take anything away from the performance of Ruiz, but there's something to the fact that Joshua didn't look himself.
yeah.
He looked odd before the fight.
What a terrible fucking way to open your open up to the American
God,
audience.
his
though.
U.S. debut as
Yeah,
well.
fuck.
Trying to hopefully get somewhere to that Deontay Wilder Tyson Fury matchups that everybody's been talking about.
Well,
now,
and here's
but
the thing. Yeah, you would have made millions off those fights, but if we're watching that and he's getting slept by Ruiz,
both those guys
what the
would have
fuck would
ended his
Wilder do
world.
to him, dude?
Same with
Wilder
Fury. Fury
will
would box the fuck.
fuck.
You think Ruiz can box?
Oh no!
I mean,
but no,
Fury
not
to
even.
box the
Well, here's the thing:
fucking
Fury,
head off of that
Fury,
fool.
Yeah, Fury would just wear him out.
I mean,
but
whew.
Fury would probably stop him based on exhaustion
Mm-hmm.
because he would literally just outwork him for 10 rounds.
Fury's the
12 rounds. Yeah.
definitely the best pure boxing heavyweight in my opinion. Maybe boxer, at
Yeah.
least in the upper weight.
And I
classes
think a
for
big
sure.
part of it is Anthony Joshua put on a lot of muscle since his last
He's
fight.
huge, man.
Put a lot of muscle on.
What were
And,
you saying? Like 20 pounds?
Yeah, almost 20 pounds. He gained almost like 20 pounds over this stretch.
What's funny is he looked so much bigger than Ruiz, and Ruiz outweighed him. He was 268.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a fat boy. There's no doubt. But man, did he fucking put on a performance? He got cardio
Dude,
for
he's
days.
trying to get
apparently.
sponsored by Snickers.
Dude, he should. He should play it up. He should be like Big Country in MMA.
Yeah.
Just go for it, man.
Dude, Big Country sent him out like a good job on Twitter. He's like putting on for the big guys or something like that.
Dude, good on him, man. He,
Yeah, I
you know,
mean,
the guy was an Olympian. I don't know where
Yeah, I
he
don't
placed
know.
in the Olympics, but I know he fought in the Olympics. I know he had one loss coming into this, and I know he had a really good amateur record of like 105 or something.
Well, here's
like
the
that.
thing, like Stephen A. Smith went on Twitter and was like acting like he just lost to an amateur or something.
Stephen
It's
A.
like,
Smith just
like
wants
that
to
was just
incite the
ridiculous.
masses.
Like, dude, come on, you got to give the guy his due, though. You know what I'm
Give him
saying?
his
Like,
due.
like he still went out there and did everything the right way. He didn't.
He
Stop
executed a
making it
game
seem-
plan
well,
and
here's the
boxing
thing.
skills.
People
Yeah.
need to stop making it seem like it was more of a Joshua mistake than an Andy Ruiz performance.
No, you could say that about Tyson Douglas.
Yeah.
You can't say that here. That's not applicable here.
I
That's
don't
to
care if
anybody
he
that
was.
knows the
I don't care if
sport.
he was concussed before or not. It doesn't matter.
Well, it
Andy
doesn't
Ruiz
matter,
still
yeah.
went out and put on the performance because all that necessarily means is he's got a glass jaw going in pretty much. But you still gotta hit him. You know what I
Right.
mean? You still gotta put him
Right.
down yourself. You still gotta execute the game plan. And Ruiz went out there and did it.
And yeah, and he not only executed offensively, he executed defensively as well.
Yeah.
I mean, he shut down Joshua's jab in multiple fucking ways.
Yeah.
He shut down Joshua's movement. I mean,
What a strange way to lose though with Joshua. Spitting your mouthpiece out like 3 times.
at the end of the fight, I mean, he gets up before the 8 count
He
is
gets
over.
up before the 8
He's got
out,
a
but-
tiny little smile on his face,
Well,
and the
yeah,
ref's
but-
like, "You ready
but-
to box?"
no,
And he
but
doesn't say shit.
Here's the thing: he didn't have his mouthpiece in either. He hit him, and
His
he
mouthpiece
spit
was
his
still on the
mouthpiece-
ground at
It
that
was
point?
either on the ground or in his
In the
hand
ref's
or
hand?
some. No, in his hand it might have been, but He comes up and he's smiling, he has no mouthpiece in. I think that's why they more or less stopped it, because he doesn't even...
Well, the ref asked him twice. He stopped it because the
He's
ref
like,
asked
"Where's
him
your
twice,
mouthpiece?"
is he ready to box?
Yeah.
And he says nothing. And he goes, you ready to box? And he says nothing. And then he waves it off.
Yeah,
I said,
yeah.
man, motherfucker, he ain't ready to box.
He ain't ready to go.
That's it.
Well, you know what it all...
Bizarre, man.
Here's the thing, too. And Joshua had some serious, like, success early, and he was able to drop... Ruiz early.
Yeah, it was
but
in the
as soon
third
as he
round,
drops
right? Yeah.
Ruiz gets up and drops him because
Yeah, he
gets
rushes
so
in,
overzealous
gets that flurry.
and gets dropped.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Joshua rushes in, gets overzealous, keeps his hands down, and eats two left hooks from Ruiz. And
once again, you're not doing that to Deontay Wilder. You drop Deontay Wilder and he gets up and you rush him, he will fucking knock your head in the third row. Legitimately, he will fucking...
No, 100%. Yeah.
Don't ever blitz. If he ever dared to blitz Deontay Wilder, he would get fucking slapped. It would be on every meme, on every fucking everything. I think the biggest fight in the world is still and was always Wilder and Fury. I think those two...
100%.
Because they represent the giant medium in between styles in boxing. Tyson Fury is a crisp, technical, hardworking, slick moving, like he's patient. But then you got Wilder, who is unorthodox, can put you to bed at any point. All he has to do is land once.
Yeah.
And he's been in fights where he's fighting Ortizian. We've talked about, and
Fury's
you
fighting
think
next
in
week.
that fight he was losing. In the Fury fight, he's losing. And his one-punch power either puts him back in the fight or was able to finish the fight in the Ortiz one. So it's like, you got to think, yeah, he's not the best technical boxer in boxing. He's never going to be.
His
He doesn't
other skills
care to
balance
be.
that
His
scale,
other,
though.
his other skills and
Fuck
his one-punch power cancels out all the bullshit that's out there. You know what I mean?
Right. He has enough skill.
And he's got a
that
fucking
balances
chin,
that.
dude.
Yeah.
He's got a chin.
He's got a chin.
He has got a fucking chin. He was getting thrown bombs by Luis Ortiz and was able to
And
fucking
Fury
survive.
punches hard too. He may not have as many knockouts, but
Yeah.
he's still got 16
Well, he's got pop.
knockouts in
That's the difference.
23
That's the
fights,
difference.
24
Tyson
fights,
Fury's
so.
got pop, and he's got pop off his straight and his jab, but he doesn't have a lot of power to his hook. That's the difference. Like he's got good pop on his punch, but he doesn't have like you know what I mean, like drive through your
He
face
doesn't
kind
have
of
anything
power.
like that Wilder power.
Yeah, he doesn't have that like Wilder would drive his fucking fist through your goddamn skull. You know what I mean?
So crazy.
So that I just think because they're so different in their technique and style that they are the most interesting fight in boxing. Where I think Anthony Joshua is on the other in the other way a great. Him and Wilder kind of have a similar story, you know, where they both started boxing late in their life, and Anthony Joshua kind of more or less came in as a physical specimen, you know what I
Right.
mean? And they were thinking, you know, this kid would just put some fucking technique behind him and he'll take off, and obviously that happened. But he's had some close calls, and couple nights ago those close calls catched up with him. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
Can't fight fucking tomato cancer your whole life and expect when you finally fight someone legit to go out there and just do what you want. That doesn't happen.
Do you think they're going to get the rematch here? Because there's no rematch clause.
There's no
Ruiz
rematch
doesn't
clause
have
because
to fight him
he
again.
didn't think he was gonna fucking lose,
I mean, fuck. If this kid's smart, he starts pushing for.
or he could just raging bullet and retire.
I think if Ruiz is smart, he pushes for. Well, I guess he can't now because that's the other thing that happened this weekend is they actually signed, even though they've both got fights booked, but they signed Fury Wilder 2 for next year.
Yeah. How strange is that?
Right. While at the same time,
Because
Wilder's going to be
Fury's
fighting
fighting Tom
Ortiz
Schwartz
again.
in I think a week.
Yeah, like next weekend he's fighting
Next
Tom
weekend he's
Schwartz.
fighting Tom Schwartz,
This fight is 24-0, whatever.
Yeah,
we know.
it's gonna be.
However, I would say this past weekend's a big warning to both
big
Wilder
warning to
and
everybody.
Fury. Like, don't
Watch
be
yourself.
taking this dude.
Although I think Wilder's probably fighting the most dangerous guy of all of them.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
Luis Ortiz,
despite him being 40
dude,
now,
that
he's-
could have been Ortiz the other night.
Yeah.
Because Ortiz doesn't turn down. That's one thing too. Is like boxers need to understand kind of the way MMA fighters do. There's a time and place to negotiate, and there's a time and place to make history. And Ortiz had the opportunity to make history, but he'd rather negotiate. And AJ also, he's had plenty of opportunities, and he'd rather negotiate. And I think a lot of it goes back on Eddie Hearn, obviously, being his promoter. But when a guy like Andy Ruiz puts it on the line and makes history like that, the dollar sign from the fight doesn't matter because all the dollar signs that are going to come after the fight are what's going to matter.
Right.
When you shock the world, everyone wants to jump on that bandwagon. Everyone loves Andy Ruiz, whether you knew who he was or didn't. Everyone loves his story now because it's the underdog. Everyone loves a fucking underdog. We know this.
Yep.
Everyone loves it. Obviously, we don't know how long Ruiz will be champion because obviously now if I was Deontay Wilder or Tyson Fury, I'd be sign me up right now because I mean, obviously maybe Ruiz beats them too. I don't know. Obviously,
let's just say
there could
it's
be
possible,
situations that
but-
way, but I think Wilder and Fury both want that fight immediately. Also, you got Usyk coming up to heavyweight. He might want that fight.
Oh man, yeah.
I think that would be the best way for Anthony Joshua to get back to where he was at, is if Usyk comes in, beats Ruiz, and then Anthony Joshua maybe takes a year and a half off or so, really focuses on his cardio and getting his body into like boxing shape where he's got the muscle, but he's also got the work in the muscle. You know what I mean? Because he was fucking gassed after round 2. Like,
Yeah,
legitimately, he was done after round
absolutely.
2. And so I think the best chance for him to get back into that top 3 echelon was where if Usyk comes in, grabs those belts, and then Joshua comes back, takes him from Usyk. Because Usyk's such a bigger name, honestly, than Ruiz. But obviously, we don't know now. Ruiz is the biggest name in boxing now.
For the moment, and you know what I think the smart play for him to do is to push for an immediate Joshua rematch. Because honestly, I think he beats him in the rematch as well.
If it's
and
an
then
immediate
wait,
rematch, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think if they wait a year or so, I think AJ could get it back.
no, I think
together
he
and
should
beat
try
him.
to get it in like 3 months, 4
Yeah,
months.
3 months, 4 months,
And
he'll beat
then,
him. Yeah.
If he's really smart, he will sit on his butt and fucking
Raging
wait
Bull.
for the goddamn Tyson Fury,
Oh, Wilder,
Deontay Wilder.
yeah.
I'm talking about Ruiz here.
Yeah, I
and
know.
push for that fight, which I don't think he has a prayer of beating either one of those guys. But man, you want to talk about getting
But you
yourself
wanna
a
get
big
paid,
money?
yeah.
You want to get paid?
Yeah.
There
Like I
you
was
go,
saying,
man.
it's not about
There you
it's not
go.
about getting there. It's what you get after you're there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
that's-
definitely Andy Ruiz got paid more than he's ever got paid. I think he got paid like 16 or something.
Good on him, and he's got skills, man.
Yeah.
He's got skills. That'd be a big fight, though. If he beats Anthony Joshua twice and then waits for the winner of Fury Wilder,
Dude, he'll be the biggest boxer in the world if he beats Anthony Joshua twice. I think
that's that kid's path to fucking lifetime of millions of
Oh, yeah,
dollars.
for sure.
If he's not stupid. So that'll be fun to watch how that plays out. And I think he should run the hell away from Usyk. Like, he don't want any of that smoke.
Yeah,
Like,
no.
I don't think
And honestly,
that's a change in the heavyweight division.
also
when that
another
kid
thing,
comes up.
honestly, he could end up doing too is he doesn't have to hold on to all of them. He could fuck the whole division up. He could just
Oh, yeah.
drop
He could
them
just
all.
start waiting to get
He could-
stripped of belts, too.
Well, no, you don't have to strip him. He just doesn't have to. If he
could
just
just drop
doesn't
him,
pay
too,
his
yeah.
pay his fucking IBO or anything like who really cares about the
Let's
IBO?
hope he doesn't do that.
Well, I mean, it could happen though. Think about it.
could.
Honestly, he could just drop a couple of them and keep it going, and he could hold on to one and not and kind of make the money we were talking about. And not have. I mean, this is a boxing thing to do, but he could totally
the
just.
boxing thing
He
to
could
do.
pat his shit up a little bit more. And then later on, get that Joshua rematch, because Joshua's gonna want that back eventually. Whether he you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm sure there's some bullshit mandatory contender he could wait for on one of these belts to get another payday.
Yeah, but not really though, because Dylan White's
know.
the mandatory contender for Wilder's belt, and they don't have to fucking fight. He's fighting Fury,
one
and he's
cares.
fighting Ortiz. Like,
No one
gives a
fucking
fuck,
cares
dude.
about that dude.
Nobody fucking
I forget.
cares.
Doesn't he have some title, or isn't he something? Is
I
he just
wanna
the
say-
mandatory?
No, I think he just might be the mandatory contender.
That dude.
But,
he's like
yeah.
a forgotten man in all
Dude.
this conversation.
He's fought everybody too. The only person he hasn't fought is Wilder and Fury. Or Wilder and Fury are the only two he hasn't fought. He's fought AJ. He lost, but he still fought him.
Right, he's still got all.
So you know he's in there. But honestly, fuck after, I don't know. Anthony Joshua lost a whole lot of luster a couple days ago, though. That's what I do know.
Oh man, worst thing that could have happened. And let's say these rumors are true. Let's say he had the panic attack. Let's say he didn't want to fight the day before. Let's say he got fucking slept, or even let's say he got knocked down and took a shot where he might be a little minorly concussed, and let's say his dad really was like, Eddie, I don't want him to do this fight, and Eddie was like, fuck you, you're fighting.
Yeah, we need this money. I could see that though. Wouldn't put it past him.
Yeah, all that could be legitimately true, and if so,
what though? Like, honestly, like, it doesn't matter. Even if so, it doesn't really matter, because at the end of the day, he still fucking lost. Mm-hmm. And in boxing, losing is so much of a bigger fall than losing in MMA.
I know, that's so funny, because we had the pleasure of seeing both worlds up close, and it's just,
that blemish on your record is everything.
It doesn't mean shit.
Yeah.
That's what guys like Paulie Malignaggi don't understand. He looks at a guy like Conor and he gets so butthurt because of the losses. Like, it doesn't matter. Literally, it doesn't matter.
MMA can happen to
Look at Anthony fucking
anytime.
Smith's record. He's like,
well, you know what?
14 losses.
You know what it is? The people who are a part of this sport that understand it, understand the losses are learning and opportunities for people to evolve as
there's
overall
a lot more
fighters.
evolution in MMA.
But also, the social media culture and everything like that kind of puts you down so heavily when you do get knocked out or tapped out or anything like that. If you're not losing by decision, you're a meme tomorrow. Doesn't matter if you're a
It's
Conor
true,
McGregor.
and some people can't handle
well,
that,
and it
like
doesn't
Ronda
matter,
Rousey.
and it doesn't matter if you're Conor McGregor or the dude on the fucking undercard, or the dude on PFL who got KO'd in 2 seconds. Also,
you can still come right back in your next 2 fights.
100%, you still can.
Around.
Yeah, 100%. But what I'm saying is
not even.
that in the community, losing is okay. But I think in a lot of fans and everything like that, they put so much bullshit into people who lose.
Like casual fans?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They fucking take people down when they lose. So I think that has a big part to do with it as well.
Well, you're right about Joshua's brand being hurt pretty
It's
bad
fucked.
here.
Hundreds of millions of dollars were lost the other day. Possibly.
He shouldn't have waited on that fucking Wilder and Fury fights. But that's what happens, man. That's why they get in the fucking ring or the cage and fight. So that probably wraps up our boxing talk. We got a real briefly, I want to touch on the UFC Stockholm card, which saw Anthony Smith just, really cement himself. Like, I was a believer, I think you were too, beforehand, that he was a legit force. A lot of folks were trying to say, maybe not.
I go back and forth with Lionheart.
But, he came out. And
he does some great things for me sometimes, but then, like honestly, I didn't think his performance was, super impressive, to be honest.
So you and I differ on that, although I see your point. But now what do you think about with his clearly broken hand that he's...
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people say they got a broken hand, and you don't really see any proof afterward. Like, that dude's bone was,
it's
dislodged.
fucked. Yeah.
Not a crack.
Yeah, for
It
sure.
Broke and separated. I thought ultimately he could have looked better, but he did good.
Here's my problem when he fights 5-round fights. This is why... This is not a knock. He's a great fighter, and he's definitely in the upper echelon, don't get me wrong. But in 5-round fights in which that he gets into the deep water, he tends to gas.
He does tend to gas a little bit. At first, I wasn't thinking he was. But
But
however,
in the
gassed.
He was gassed in the four. What was that?
He was tired. I wouldn't say he was out of gas, but
I
he
don't-
was
yeah,
tired,
he
and he
gets
still won.
tired.
He still won.
100%. And the same thing when he fought Ozdemir as well. And that Ozdemir almost won that fight in the end because of that.
Yeah.
I'm looking at this big picture. And if Anthony Smith really wants to be a namesake in this division, he's going to need to address that. That's all I'm saying.
He looks really in shape too. He doesn't have
he doesn't
excessive
have much
size.
Yeah. I just think his style is so explosive.
He throws heavy.
That dude, we were talking about it.
He throws
we were
real heavy.
like honestly, in the first round, half, 3/4 of the first round, there was very little punches landed. Like everything was like a slip, a fucking, like him and Gus were literally like throwing 1-2s at each other, but Gus was throwing 1-2s and fucking Anthony was throwing 1-2s and hooks. Like, you know what I mean? Like it was situations where there wasn't very many punches like that were like oh, he tagged him, you know what I mean? But it was more or less like, oh shit, like that was close, that was close, that was close. You know what I mean? Nothing really like landed heavily, and I feel that when you're in situations like that, the guy who's throwing all hooks is going to be tired after that round. The guy who's throwing 1-2s is going to be a little bit less tired.
I agree. Well,
And
let's
you
see.
can't. And We all saw what happened when he fought John Jones. He just didn't look himself at all. And
Well, I still think in this Gus fight, I think he won rounds 1 and 2.
yeah,
I think he lost
3,
round 3,
and then won
he
fight
clearly
4.
won 4 because he, for those of you that didn't see it, he won by submission in round
Rear
4,
naked choke.
rear naked choke.
Literally
He takes the
same way he
back.
beat Osimhen.
Gus goes in for the takedown, if I remember correctly.
Gus's
right?
ground game's gotten
And-
really bad.
Anthony Smith manages to use the whizzer, take the back. I'm trying to remember right. It's been a minute now since I saw it, but he winds up taking the back, and it looks like he's going to slip off. Like
Yeah, and then
Gustafsson,
he just chokes.
he's got really long fucking legs. He gets his hips way up in the air, and it looks like Smith's going to fall forward, but he manages
Sneaks
to
it
hook
in.
something, flatten Gus out, slip under, and choke him right out. And that's that.
Yep. And then Gus calls it a game after.
Yeah. I don't. There, which just leads us into he retires in cage basically. So he says the show's over. He leaves his gloves there. He's visibly upset. In my opinion, I haven't heard this from anybody, but he didn't look like he wanted to be interviewed. I mean, I think I texted you, and I was like, Dan Hardy, leave this fucking man alone, because the first thing he does is stick a mic in his face and go, "How you feeling, Gus?"
Yeah, I
How
think.
the fuck you think he feels,
Yeah,
Dan
but
Hardy?
I honestly think it
Jesus
was-
Christ, he
I
just
think
lost
it's
in front of his hometown
possibly
crowd.
something that they talked about before, because it seemed like Gus did want to do it but didn't want to do it. Like it was a situation where it looked like he wanted to be interviewed but he didn't want to retire. You know what I mean?
He just seemed more
didn't mind. I don't think
upset.
it was.
Like,
I don't
he's
think
just
it was.
emotional.
I don't think he really minded the actual interview. I think it was more the loss. You know what I mean? I think.
That could be it. Like I said, it's just my opinion.
Yeah, I feel you.
He
I'm
hasn't
just
said
saying.
that or nothing.
I'm just saying that I feel like because it was in his hometown and he had just lost and everything had just piled up and he was just like, "Fuck, man, I got to do this right now," but I don't want to do this. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know if.
But
he's
at the
done.
same time, but that now he's reinforced it. He's come out with that Instagram post and he went on shows and after fight everything saying he's done.
It could be. I mean, and we talked earlier. We're going to talk about. I mean, might as well say it right now. 2 other fighters retired after that card.
Yeah.
Also losing. Nick Hine retired after getting beat, and then Jimmy
fucking
Manuwa
after
retired.
getting fucking switch kicked and KO'd. Shit was gross, dude. He got fucking slept.
Yeah.
Dude, he was like,
I believe both. I think Manuwa's definitely done. He was such a late
Manuwa was
bloomer
like
to MMA.
literally fucking. He was like stiff knocked out. He's
And he's had 4 KOs or 4 losses now.
4 in a row.
Yeah,
Yeah,
in a row, and
he's 36 years old.
And yes, I mean, he didn't even get into the UFC or MMA till he was 26.
Yeah.
In the UFC by 28. The dude's got a hell of a story. Retire now. I
and
think he's done for
He's
sure.
fought some of the biggest names in the game too.
Absolutely,
so
and done
he has
respectable.
nothing. Yeah, he's
7 and 6
nothing to
UFC
be-
record, I believe, and he's mad skills. Especially
Yeah,
no
nothing to be
athletic,
ashamed of.
no martial arts training before the age of 26.
And here's the
Kudos to
thing
him.
too. Here's the thing is he's not. It's not even that he's done either. He probably still could fight. I just think that he's just not on the level of where he can contend for a title anymore, and I just don't think it's worth fighting the up and comers to
No,
go.
he doesn't
winning,
like a guy
you know
that
what I'm
wants to be
saying?
a gatekeeper.
Yeah. I think that's more or less where Gus is at too. Neither of them necessarily want to be a gatekeeper for this division because they felt like not too long ago they were going to be the next one to get that belt and fight for that belt, and things just didn't work out, and they're just not really wanting to sit around and fight these guys who are 26, 27. Like that Racket guy is legit.
Yeah, he's
he
legit.
is legit.
100%.
He's like I think the next fight. We didn't talk about this yet, but I heard this morning. Johnny Walker's officially been medically cleared by a doctor to fight again. Who knows how long he needs to get back in camp? But I think that's a good fight. Those two.
Yeah, I like that fight too. That'd be
I mean,
nice.
that's kind of killing off the younglings, but at the
Well, they
same
got
time,
to do something. They just can't keep jumping up to John Jones and getting
Yeah.
beat. I mean,
or can they? Because they literally asked him after the fucking fight, "Who do you want next? Maybe
course.
John Jones."
I heard him say his
What?
footwork is better than
Yeah.
John Jones, and he has
Yeah.
more power. Like, dude, you're not there yet. That's cool. I get that's what you want to say, but
Yeah.
I like that fight though. That'd be a good.
But
fight.
yeah,
Johnny
I think
him, I'll dig
Gus
it.
and Jimmy Manuwa retiring is probably what's best for the both of them.
I think so. Gus,
Unless Gus wants to move to heavyweight.
for some reason, Gus seemed like he wanted to dismiss Anthony Smith even after losing to him. Like
Yeah, for real.
he's like, oh, if I can't beat this guy, I need to just fucking retire.
Fucking shit, that's really how it was, too. That's really how it was. It did
And I'm
seem.
like- and I don't
I
know
felt that
why.
way too, but I just didn't know how to like.
Like, I don't get that. Like, dude, Anthony is a legit fighter. He
He's
has
like,
legit
"Fuck, dude, I
skills,
can't
but that
beat
was
this
like the
bitch."
vibe that he had before the fight, and it seemed to be afterwards. Like, well, I'm losing to guys like this. What the fuck am I doing? And that's not accurate, Gus.
Well,
Like, there's no shame in.
let's pray to the MMA gods that Luke Rockhold gets it done on fucking July.
Oh, you like that Anthony
And
Smith?
then I'd
Luke
like to see
Rockhold
Anthony
fight?
Smith,
There's been a
Luke
little heat
Rockhold
there.
early in next year, or maybe Madison Square Garden.
MSG. That's a sick fight. It's a sick fight. But Luke needs to be very careful facing
Jan Blachowicz, fuck him.
He needs to be. Yeah, but Luke, what happens to him every time he thinks he's fighting a nobody? He gets
That's
fucking
true.
slept.
That's true.
I'm saying Luke specifically, not whoever Jan is fighting. In this, you just please be careful.
Yeah.
Please
But
don't
I'd
take
like
this
to
dude
see what
lightly,
Luke
'cause he
looks
has
like
some
at
power.
205 and how he looks at 205 because he could possibly carry over some power. He's fast too.
He's fast
So,
and he's muscular. And he's
let's-
got legit skills.
Let's see maybe if that chin's a little bit better at 205 too, carrying that extra weight on him.
But his chin would be better if he learned to tuck it a little bit.
Yeah,
Like
but you
they
know what I'm
teach you
saying?
In fucking
Dude,
fighting 101.
everyone
dude.
at AKA is like that though. Khabib doesn't tuck his chin. Dan Cormier doesn't tuck his chin. All those dudes don't tuck their chins.
Well,
Kane
Daniel
doesn't tuck
gets
his
away with it
chin.
because he has like no neck. But Luke literally, we've discussed it before.
Of course,
he has
yeah.
this thing when he gets under pressure, he like sticks his hand out like this, his chin up in the air, and then like goes
Dude,
backwards.
Exactly.
Like,
that's exactly what Daniel Cormier does too, and that's how he got
Actually, he
knocked out
does.
by
That's how he got
Jones.
knocked
That's
out by
exactly
Jones.
how he does it. They both, whenever they get in flurries, they stick their hands to the opposite side and try to run out and reset. That's what I don't know if they teach that over there, but that's what all their fighters tend to do. Khabib does the same thing.
These other guys just get away with it a bit more. Luke's got caught with it.
Luke's
Daniel
got
gets
caught
away
with it.
it.
Daniel got caught with it.
I mean, Daniel got caught with it by John
Khabib
Jones.
gets away with it.
Khabib thus far.
The only person who ever really catch him when doing it was Al, and he never really hurt him.
Yeah.
He just did it to him.
Yeah, I was lighting him up in like the fourth. He
But
was
that's
doing
what
it a
Khabib
lot.
was doing
Yeah,
too. He was like running away with his hands out like that, like
what
trying,
is
almost
going
like,
on?
almost seeming like they're like trying to catch their hands. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like almost seeming like they're trying to like legitimately catch the punches. Like it's weird. It's
is
like
weird,
It's
man.
weird. Like they stick their hands out and like away.
I never really thought about how a lot of guys at the gym do that.
Their whole gym does.
I mean, Luke has been just the prime example for me because I really respect him as a fighter, and that's just such a fundamental.
Yeah, dude,
flaw.
I actually like Luke Rockhold a lot as a fighter. I think he's a lot of wasted potential at this
He's
point.
got all the
He's
skills
got
to be a
fucking all the
long-reigning
skills to
champ,
be a
dude.
like what
Fuck.
he is like. If he would get his shit together, he could be top 5 pound for pound tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Like he probably is the biggest threat to John Jones at light heavyweight
Yes.
if he has all his shit
If he
together.
was all dialed in,
Because John
That'd be a
on his
fight,
feet
man.
and fucking Luke on the ground is great too. So I would love to see him and John if he has his shit together.
but like the way he's been fighting and the way he's like,
It's not going to get it done. But the way he was fighting earlier in his career, like at the end of Strike Force and his early UFC career, like what he did to Bisping the first time, if he fights like that, where he has that killer mentality and he never stops going forward and getting, you know what I'm saying? He like now when he gets someone hurt, he like backs off and like ha ha ha. Now I'm gonna fuck you up, and like then he gets KO'd. That's literally what happens.
Yeah, oh, it is.
So, I don't know. I like Luke Rockhold a lot. And I definitely think he's going to beat Jan.
I think he is too. Don't get me
And
wrong.
I definitely
but
think the next fight after that is
if
Anthony
he did
Smith.
something stupid and got slept, I wouldn't be sitting here next episode talking about I'm in shock. I'd be like,
That's
Jesus
true.
Christ, here we go again with this kid.
Remember, David Branch almost did it to him.
Mm-hmm.
David Branch came in and fucking pushed the pace quick.
For sure. But man, I like Anthony Smith, Luke Rockhold. That's a fight to make as long as like what we
Everything,
said
yeah.
happens. Everything dials in with that gives Smith time to heal his hand up too.
Yeah.
You know, his hand is
that's what
severely
I'm saying.
broken
If
right
he
now.
give him maybe early January, maybe
Yeah.
or like MSG in November if he heals quick, you know. I doubt that one though. But I feel like January is more ideal. But
Well, let's pop ahead to UFC
Let's take it.
238, which is coming right up.
let's start at the bottom.
Okay, yeah, because that card is stacked, dude.
Fucking
Like, folks,
and there's like hella fights we're not even gonna talk about today that are also
this
great
isn't a
on this
UFC card you want to miss, folks.
Yeah,
and the
fuck
last
no.
thing we are on here is some sort of shill telling you to buy UFC pay-per-views. But damn, whatever you got to do to watch this card,
do it.
Stream it, go to the
Yeah.
bar, go
I
to your
don't
friend's
give a
house,
fuck. You
whatever.
gotta
This
watch
is
this
a
shit.
quality fucking MMA card
Yeah.
coming up right here. Quality. So,
like I said, start from the bottom. So literally opening the Fight Pass prelims is Joanne Calderwood versus Caitlin Chookagian, which is a #1 contender fight for the fucking belt. That's the co-main event tonight. So, who do you got, and what do you think?
I have an incredible fan bias. I fucking love JoJo. I think she's
Yeah.
awesome. I want her to win.
Caitlin's tough though.
Caitlin's tough. This is, as
She's
she
a
likes
number.
to say,
I
this
think
is
it's
JoJo
2 versus 6
2.0.
or something. 2
You know,
versus.
she's moved here to Vegas.
Yeah,
You know,
she's working over with.
she trains under Wood over
Modafari
there.
and
Yep,
everyone else,
Modafari
yeah.
and the crew over there.
They got a tough little
And Coach
camp
Wood's
over
got
there.
a good camp.
They've
going.
got
Yeah,
they've got some
for
tough
sure.
chicks over there though. They got they got Justine Kish, right?
Mhm.
And they got
Yep.
Roxy. So they're all like in the same almost in the same weight class too. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
So,
And she's improved. She seems to be dialed in.
all of them have. So let's see.
Yeah.
Yeah. This
I,
new.
I like JoJo.
Yeah.
I admit to my open bias. I think she's gonna pull it off though.
Yeah, I think so
I don't
too.
think it's gonna be an easy fight.
No.
I think it'll be tough. I wouldn't be surprised if it's 3 gritty rounds. But
Her dirty boxing has gotten so much better.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit.
I know. So what about you? What are you thinking?
I think it's a 50-50. It's a coin flip to me.
Coin flip.
But I think it's really going to come down to who's going to be there late in that third. You know what I mean? Who's going to still be there? Because that's who's going to get it, honestly. Because I think it could be like a big punch that hurts them late to win a round, or like a quick takedown that steals a round that could really like win this fight. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, I'm
maybe like
expecting a close fight. too.
maybe like a big elbow from Calderwood that like right as the bell ring kind of lights her up. You know what I mean? Or and the other way, you know, she gets taken down or something like right at the end of the round, or any round to steal a round. You know, I think this is going to be a split decision. I don't know. I don't know who I'm taking yet though. Come back to me on that one. Got another #1 contender fight after that, though. Also in the women's division. It is, but it also could not be still. You know the UFC. But Tatiana Suarez is fighting Nina Ansaroff.
Oh, 115 pounds. Wow. Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
gonna be a
depending
sick
on
fight.
the Andrade Namajunas rematch, which we haven't heard anything yet, which Andrade has offered to Rose, but there's been dead silence.
And
as
Rose
far
is
as I
talking
know.
about retiring and stuff.
Yeah, and I haven't heard shit from her since.
Yeah.
But so yeah, depending on what happens there, but either way, this
could be the
I
one.
would say this is a #1 contender fight. The problem with, and I like Nina Ansaroff has really improved here lately too.
Yeah.
Like she trains obviously with Nunes,
Freaking 180-degree turn.
and man, she's really put some stuff together. But I think she has a problem.
What's up?
She's fighting Tatiana Suarez.
Tatiana Suarez is fucking tough.
Dude, her wrestling is her. Folks, if
She's
you
a
haven't heard of
tough
her yet, she's an
mofo.
extremely talented wrestler, to the point. And I believe it's 4 minutes and 27 seconds out of every round she averages in top control,
You know what's crazy?
which is that's crazy.
Isn't Tatiana Suarez like literally in her last fight, didn't she fight the champion? Or 2 fights ago? Didn't she fight Andrade?
That I don't know because she fights really infrequently,
Yeah.
and I don't know why. Maybe she has some injury issues. I'm not.
I don't
certain.
remember. All I remember is freaking Ansaroff and what's her name? Were front row at Tatiana's last fight, cheering
Nunes,
her on.
yeah.
Now they're fucking fighting. That's crazy.
Yeah, that is a little crazy.
I think Ansaroff gets it though. I think she
I
gets
hope
the
she
title
does. The
shot.
fan in
dude.
me wants to see. I'm rooting for
Started
Nina
from the
in
bottom.
this, but I think that
How
that's a
sick would
really
that
tough
be,
fight.
though?
If she gets by fucking
Yeah.
Tatiana Suarez, then she deserves a title shot. Yeah, yeah.
Dude, and then did you hear what they said? Freaking Nunes said?
What is it?
They're like, so I'll get the 115 belt, and then she'll get the 25, 35, and 45 belts.
Oh my god.
How savage would that be?
That would be pretty savage, but I don't think Nunes wants,
I don't think Nunes ever wants to make 25, though.
and
She
especially
has
not
a hard
to fight
time making
Valentina
35.
Shevchenko,
I don't know.
who gave her all she could handle at 35 twice. And a lot of people think Shevchenko won that rematch, but that's not really what we're here to debate. I don't think she wants to take off all that weight.
Nunes is a goat in women's fighting.
Yes,
100%.
100%. That's for sure.
Yeah. So I'm taking Anzarov.
I'm going to Suarez, but I'm rooting for Ansarov to pull it off. That's who I want to win.
And then we got another number one contender fight after that as well. We got our Aljo taking on Pedro Munoz. Pedro Munoz kind of switching it up on
Sterling.
everybody,
Yeah, he's
though.
talking a little
shit. It's like, what the fuck you doing, Pedro? Shut up.
Coming off
dude.
his last fight, where everybody's talking about how nice he was.
Yeah, now he's talking shit.
Now
What is
he's
he even
talking some
talking shit about, though? Because, like, what is there really to talk shit about Aljamain Sterling? He's kind of a pretty cool guy.
Yeah, he's a pretty cool guy. I don't really know. He's not.
Dude,
I don't know what's there.
my brother's friend fought him a couple of years ago and, like, lost a pretty close split decision.
Aljo or
Yeah.
Munoz?
Aljo. It was, like, super close decision. But now he's fucking up here and shit. But he's had a couple tough fights in his last, like,
He
over
has,
the
but
years.
He's put it together, man.
But now he's
that
starting.
Sierra
he's
Longo
starting to
camp
use that shit.
is
Oh, yeah.
they're tough as fuck, man. And it
Sierra
seems like
Longo.
when their fighters turn a corner,
Yeah.
like it's like Aljo he had a lot of skill.
He's
but he
getting
really
locked
seemed to
in,
put it
and he's-
together. It seems like he's
He's
like
really
you
getting
said,
into
locked
his
it in
prime,
right there.
too. He's
Yeah.
like, I think he's around 28, 29.
Did I say Sierra? Is that what
You
you're saying?
definitely said Sierra.
Oh,
That's why
Sarah.
I said Sarah.
Matt Serra, Roy Longo.
It's Ray.
It's funny. Ray. Whatever, I'm high as fuck, Roy.
I got you.
I sound like Joey Diaz over here. I can't pronounce
Joey.
names right. Kalila Bob, I'm going to start saying next.
Yeah, no, but this is going to be a tough fight.
It is going to be a tough fight.
Aljamain's another one of those guys who likes to take it to the ground and control it from the top position. And Pedro Munoz is a black belt in jiu-jitsu, so who knows what could happen down there. And then both have fucking... Aljo's got some legit elbows and kicks and knees, but
sure
then Pedro's
does.
got fucking hands, dude. So
Yeah, his
watch him
boxing's
out.
really
Like,
crisp.
he's legit.
I don't know. That fight's really close for me. I'd like to see. I'm rooting for Aljo, but
Think Pedro stomps him? I don't know. It's
I
going
don't
to be
know
a
either.
tough one.
That's a real tough fight. I wouldn't bet any money on either one of them, but I'd like to see Aljo get the win.
Yeah, me too. Just for the story. Just because I think he's got a lot more. He's a lot more charismatic, has a lot more of a personality, and would be a better champion contender and be able to sell that fight a little bit more. Although Pedro's trying to use that shit talk, it's pretty fucking acted out trying to get that title shot.
He's a nice guy.
He's a nice
You can
dude.
just tell. So you don't.
Just be
I mean,
who
I
you
get it. I
are.
appreciate you.
I
trying to
hate-
do something, but
Here's the thing. I love a
Just
shit
fight.
talker when someone's a shit talker.
right,
I don't love it when someone's a nice person and they're trying to put on the face like they're a shit talker.
right.
You know what I mean? Like when it's who you are, it flows. When it's manufactured, you can tell. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
Like
Yeah.
like everyone can say what they want about Conor McGregor, but he's naturally just a shit talker. You know, like people are naturally just shit talkers.
Yeah, he's quite talented.
Yeah.
That's what
Michael
he does.
Bisping, he naturally just is a shit talker.
Absolutely.
Ben Askren, naturally just a shit talker. Like it's not, and you don't have to be vulgar and all that shit to be a shit talker, but you just bring up the smaller. Like I like to talk shit as well. Like you know what I mean. So
Right.
it's like when it's manufactured, it's not as good as when it just rolls off.
He gets a
its
little
own.
cringy at times.
Yeah.
He's not awful at it.
He's not awful at it, but you can tell it's something he's practiced in the mirror. Like
that
Aljamain
E40.
doesn't even talk shit. He's just is like a cool dude. You know what I mean? Like he's got a lot of like he's a good ambassador for the division. You know what I mean? Like the UFC uses him for all kinds of other shit too.
Right.
So I don't know. I think it would be better for the division if Aljamain wins, but Pedro's a fucking savage, so who knows?
This is going to be a good fight. I expect that. I expect all these to be pretty good.
Oh yeah.
That's definitely going to be fucking one. I'm
None
paying
of these
close
are gonna,
attention to.
unless there's knockouts in there. None of them are gonna be dominant.
Right. That brings us up to a bit of a late addition and surprise fight.
Fucking
to
yeah,
this
it's a
card.
late edition. Holy shit!
But man, am I excited! I mean, I'm as equally excited about this next fight as I am about any other fight on the card.
Any other fight this year?
I only wish that it could be 5 rounds instead of 3,
Oh fuck yeah, I know.
and that's gonna play a little bit in who
Same
I pick
thing-
in this fight.
Yeah, but you could say that about his last fight as well.
I'm talking about Donald Cowboy Cerrone versus Tony Ferguson.
And like I was saying, what I was alluding to is that Pettis fight. A lot of people wanted that to be 5 rounds as well, but we got a 3-round war and it was great. So I would like to see,
was.
and I guarantee you this one's going to be a fucking great one too. It's going to be a 3-round war. It's going to be savage.
There's nothing you could say negative about that fight.
No.
And I think the chances of it coming out and being a disappointment are pretty much 0. Like Cowboy Cerrone doesn't put on
Unless
boring
Cowboy
fights.
just unless Donald just comes out a little flat and T Ferg just pushes the pace and puts him away early. Like if he comes out and does something he's done in the past like that, it could be kind of a letdown.
that could happen.
But I don't know.
Daddy
Honestly,
Cerrone.
honestly though, I don't even think that's a letdown because that's a big.
I
That's
don't even
big
think
for
that'd
Tony.
be really letdown
Like,
because
you
it's
know.
big for Tony. Yeah, Cowboys looked legit as fuck. He's Daddy Cerrone now. He doesn't fuck around.
Yeah,
Goes out there and he gets some wins.
gets the job done for sure.
Should I load up this pipe or should we hit this bong over here?
Oh yeah, let's hit the bong, dude. What are you thinking?
I'm just anxious to keep on smoking while we're talking about this. Are you going to make a pick in this fight? Because I'll tell you what, if this was a 5-round fight, I'll tell you what, right now while you're hitting that, I would pick Ferguson.
Yeah,
I think because Ferguson really tends to
start
his 4th
slow.
and 5th rounds are really something special, and he's got that cardio where he can take advantage of pretty much anybody, even someone who doesn't gas. Like Cerrone's got great cardio, he keeps going too, but Ferguson, he kind of tends to go on a different level. But in this, a 3-round fight combined with Ferguson's long layoff, Cowboys' recent activity, and just a little bit of the questions about Ferguson mentally that have been in the air. I'm picking Cerrone.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm picking Cowboy to get it done, steal
Hey.
that title shot.
Ferguson doesn't smoke crack anymore, right? He's gonna fuck him up.
That could happen too. Now, I'm not going to be shocked if Ferguson comes out and wins, but that's my pick.
Now,
I
I
take
think-
it you're picking Tony. You're picking ugly Tony.
I'm taking Tony. Taking Tony by submission.
Wow. You think Cowboy's going to get submitted
By Tony. Yep. In the 3rd.
in the 3rd?
I think this was too quick for him to
From
jump
top or bottom?
from. I think from the
You're gonna
back.
go
I think
that
he's gonna
deep?
choke him out.
He's going to take his back and choke him out.
I think he's gonna knock him down and choke him out.
You think he's going to Cowboy, huh?
Yep. I think Cowboy is a legit dude, but this is his 3rd fight back at 55. He was on vacation and fucking is now have to come back in inside 4 weeks and make 55.
Yeah, but it's Cowboy.
It
He's
doesn't
been doing
matter.
that shit for
100%.
years,
It
though.
doesn't. Yeah, but it doesn't matter.
Years.
When you're talking about you never want to fight 155 again, that it was some of the worst cuts of your life,
Yeah,
and then you
there's
fight
that.
for like 8 fights at 170, and then you're telling me 2 fights in when you're back at 155, you're just gonna make your
No, that's a
body
legit point.
just naturally gonna make 55. That's not
That's
gonna happen.
legit.
And the same thing for Tony though, because Tony is a big guy as well. But
He's 5'11".
yeah, I don't know. This is gonna be a good one though.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a knockdown, drag it out war.
This could
And I
main
think T.
event
Ferg
anything.
comes out on top, and I think Ferguson also beats the winner of whoever wins the Khabib Poirier fight too.
I would like Ferguson in those fights as well. I don't think Cowboy necessarily beats Khabib.
And then Conor comes back and fights Tony Ferguson.
I think Cowboy could beat Poirier. That could happen.
I don't know.
too.
I actually like Poirier against Cowboy.
Be a good fight.
I think Poirier is just a little bit more crisp on the feet than everybody else in the division right now. If Conor's not active and if Conor's not active, Poirier right now is probably the best on the feet in 55. Everyone else.
Yeah, I don't
Everyone else
disagree
is
with
like a
that.
hybrid fighter.
Yeah.
You know, Khabib's more of a hybrid. Tony's more of a hybrid. Cowboy's a hybrid. Like there's some strikers in the division, but they're a little lower level. Like
Yeah.
he already beat Justin Gaethje, and we all saw how much more crisp Dustin's boxing was. I just feel like Dustin's gotten so good at just getting in there, throwing the strikes, landing, and then getting out. You know what I mean?
Yes,
He
very
was
true.
doing that so well against Max, and so well against Justin Gaethje, and so well against Eddie Alvarez. It's so hard to ignore because he's had this crazy resurgence at 55. I know this is
really
off the
has.
fucking off the books, but we could talk about this now because today it was announced that at UFC 242 that Dustin Poirier and Khabib are fighting.
Yeah, that's in September, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we expected that to happen, but it is.
And this
officially
fight has big
announced.
implications for that fight as well.
Yeah.
Because I doubt one of these guys wants to go to Abu Dhabi and sit front row, but it could happen.
I doubt either one of those guys is going to go to Abu Dhabi and sit front row, but
But they're definitely at
We'll
the
see.
front of
We'll
the
see. I
line
hope
when
the
it
fight
comes to
happens.
the fucking rankings after this because Tony Ferguson, he's got to be first?
yeah, he's got to be. I mean, he's still, in my eyes, the reigning interim champ. I mean,
Yeah.
you stumble over a cord, you lose your fucking interim title. Whatever.
Life sucks.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I'm taking Ferguson. And I'm taking Ferguson to be the lightweight champion before the end of this year.
I think it's by Cowboy. I can't disagree with that, but I'm picking Cowboy in this one. So let's move on to the first of two title fights in the main, or the co-main and main events. This one, I think, is a little bit of a mismatch. I still expect a decent fight just because the champ, I mean, Valentina Shevchenko, the women's flyweight champ, versus Jessica Ai.
I don't know, man.
Ai is a legit fighter, but
Yeah,
I think Shevchenko's on
What
a
if she
whole
shocks
nother
the
level.
world, though? I've said this before. What if she shocks the world and she beats Valentina? Fuck, that would be crazy.
I know, to me, that's like,
Here's the problem.
You know, what
I've
if
I've
Santos
always,
beats
I'm always,
Jones?
yeah, good point.
I mean, I think it could
I'm
happen.
just always
but-
skeptical of the UFC championships now because for my whole upbringing of watching the UFC from probably, the late 2000s to like the 2012s, the champions were pretty much the same across the board. And then around like 2011, 2012 was when everybody's pretty much started dropping their belts. Like GSP retires, fucking Jose Aldo loses to Connor, fucking Barao loses to Dillashaw, Anderson Silva loses to Weidman. Like everyone was dominant champions in the UFC a long time ago, and it seems as the sport has progressed that championship, being a champion, is so much harder to sustain. And I honestly,
Yeah.
obviously, Shevchenko's a beast, and I do think she's gonna win this fight. I'm just skeptical going into every single title fight now because now even look at the last dominant champion to fall. Tyron Woodley just got dominated for 5 rounds by someone that everyone kind of thought was not on Tyron's level and that he was just too soon. And
Yeah.
there's been a lot of those, even like just throughout the last few years, the UFC, the landscape of rankings and title fights has changed so much that I just feel like we're at a level right now in the sport where everybody can beat anyone on any given night.
I don't disagree with what you've said in the vast majority of cases. And for the vast majority of champions, for that matter. But in my opinion, Valentina Shevchenko is just like in men's side of MMA, you've got like John Jones, Daniel Cormier, right? Everybody can agree those are like the top two, and you can kind of debate underneath that. And I really think in the women's side, it's Amanda Nunes and then Valentina Shevchenko right underneath her. Like, I don't think she's equal, but I think she's right under
Damn.
there, and I think she's better than
That's-
Cyborg.
I was gonna say that's
Just
hating on
by
Cyborg.
the quality of a lot of the competition, you know. And the fact that Cyborg is just on the way out.
You know
Like,
what?
I'm not discrediting, like, I'm not saying all time here. I'm talking about right now
Shit.
where we're at.
I think because of their fight that they had, I think Holly Holm is right there with her though.
Holly
Because
Holm would be
Holly
in that
Holm and
third
her
spot,
Holly Holm and her had
debating with
had a
Cyborg,
pretty
I
close
guess.
fight. Had a pretty close fight. I know Valentina got the win, but still, I think like they're pretty fucking close. I think
That was
honestly,
close.
there's
Holly-
really
Holly's
in the
very good.
in like the if we had a women's pound for pound, the top 5 are all pretty close to beating each other. I don't think Nunes is like crazily better than everyone. I think if Cyborg goes in there with a game plan, I think that fight was a much better fight. I think this Holly Holm fight against is a really fucking dangerous fight for Nunes. I think she could have retired without this fight as the GOAT. I think
Oh,
Holly
she
Holm has a
could've, yeah.
legitimate chance to walk in there and take away everything from her, pretty much. Because Holly Holm is no fucking joke, and she's fought the best of the best and has
I
seen
agree.
it all.
Yeah, no, I can't disagree with that.
Like, and that's just what I mean. Like, being a champion in the UFC is a different thing now. It's a different thing. You can beat me 26-0, but guess what? Eventually, someone's gonna fucking beat him too.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Everyone thought Jose Aldo was unbeatable. Everyone thought Renan Barão was unbeatable. Remember how fucking scary Renan Barão was for a minute? Nobody was fucking with him. And like every fight was dominant. Remember how bad he beat up
Oh,
fucking
yeah. He was right
Uriah
there.
Faber? He beat up Uriah Faber bad, 3 times?
Yeah, and he was right there in the talk of the, who's the pound for pound king.
Demetrius Johnson, dude. Demetrius Johnson dominated everybody, but everybody eventually has their day. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I think the main
You
event
think
also.
I might be the girl to fucking do it, huh?
No. But I'm just saying there's a chance.
All right, well, let's talk about that main event for the vacant, thanks to TJ Dillashaw's drug issues, vacant
Yep.
bantamweight championship, which sees the number 1 bantamweight contender, Moraes, versus the reigning flyweight champ.
Henry Cejudo, who just beat the fucking bantamweight champ, so suck
At
a dick,
flyweight.
dude. Fuck you, dude.
at flyweight, he did. That's
Shut up,
very
man.
true.
Doesn't matter. He's still good enough to be the number 1 contender.
Yeah, there's no other contenders at bantamweight that could have got that shot, but, it's whatever.
Honestly, who
Let's
else?
talk about
who
the
else
fight.
you throwing in there?
Let's
Pedro
just talk
Lopez?
about the fight.
Fuck 'em.
I'm sure you like Cejudo. That's your boy.
Actually, I think this is another coin
But this is a
flip,
dangerous
dude.
fight
This
right
is
here.
dangerous.
Moraes is not a big bantamweight, but he's bigger than Cejudo, and he's got some power, and he's definitely skilled.
How much legitimacy do you think this gives Henry if he goes in there and starches Marlon
Oh,
like he did TJ?
I think Henry's a great fighter. I just think he's become
I know you just
insufferable.
I think you,
as a
I know
human
you don't
being.
like him.
At least his persona
His
that he's putting out to
persona
the
he puts-
public.
yeah, I get that.
Jesus, bro,
Yeah.
dial it back. Did
Yeah.
you know he's an Olympic gold medalist? Had you heard?
I heard.
Because he'll tell you every
'Cause
time you
he'll
stick a
tell you-
fucking mic in his face. Jesus, bro.
Dude, he's playing like the Kurt Angle role, dude. Like,
I
you ever
know-
see Kurt Angle in WWE? He starts everything with, "I'm a fucking Olympic gold medalist, god damn it!"
I don't watch the WWE.
Dude,
'cause
that's what I'm saying though. That's what they're doing. Ollie's whole team, like if you look at all his fighters, they all run that same like WWE type promotion.
it's like for me, like I said, I think he's an amazing fighter, but I can't.
Yeah.
Like when they interviewed him at the UFC fucking Stockholm event, I just had to hit mute. I was like, I don't even want to hear what you're saying, dude. I'm just gonna get annoyed.
Dude, he was talking about. He said some shit that would really piss you off though.
Did he? I'm sure he told us that he was an Olympic gold medalist.
Well, he said that, but then he goes, someone better tell John Jones, Daniel Cormier, and Khabib I'm coming for that top pound for pound spot, and tell Dana White I'm also a flyweight.
Yes. The savior of the division jumping into bantamweight well, whatever. I think he has a legit chance of winning though.
I do. Yeah.
Like if I had to pick,
I think
I'd
if he had to
I'd pick him
slow
win.
it down, if he slows the fight down, if it becomes an explosive, quick fight, Marlon's gonna win. But if Henry's able to get it into the clinch and get it a little, it might be a little bit boring, but that's what it's gonna take to beat a guy like Marlon. Marlon's so fucking explosive with everything he does. You know, he's got great kicks, great knees. He's got freaking he has some he's got a fucking highlight reel, dude. Like, people don't understand. Like, if you don't know who Marlon Moraes is, you're fucking missing out because he's got some highlight reel KOs. Like, what he did to Sterling was fucking savagery.
Yeah, that was.
Savagery. Like, same thing. He
No
did the same
doubt.
thing to Jimmy Manuwa, too. Hit him with that wheel kick, put him out in, like, what, 17 seconds or something like that? 18 seconds?
Jimmy Manuwa, wow.
Or not Jimmy Manuwa, sorry.
That was a hell of a weight
Jimmy
cut.
Rivera, sorry. Jimmy Rivera.
Yeah, Jimmy Rivera. Yeah, he did. He slapped him
Damn,
with that
got
weight
you
kick.
back. Fuck you.
Well,
But
finally.
yeah, Jimmy Rivera though, dude. Remember how much build up there was to that fight, and he just
Yeah,
fucking
slapped
put him out with that wheel kick real quick. So, I think Marlon's a guy who you cannot let get distance or explode. Like, use that distance. You know what I'm saying? You gotta get in there. You gotta clinch. You're gonna have to do a little bit of dirty boxing. You're gonna have to use that Muay Thai. You're gonna have to most likely take him down. But even if you take him down, he's still dangerous because he's a black belt. He's legit. And they both are represented by Ali.
Shocker. The dirtiest manager in MMA is going to profit off whoever wins. Shocking.
He's got quite a few guys on here, I think. Either way. So, who you got?
I'm picking Cejudo.
By what decision?
Decision.
Yeah, I'll
close.
take him by decision.
Maybe even split. But yeah, I think. And I'm not going to be surprised if Marlon knocks him out either.
I think it's
that
either
could happen,
Henry by decision or Marlon knocks him out. Kind of similar with the TJ fight. I thought TJ was either going to knock him out or lose by a decision, but then Henry fucking KO'd him.
but
which was
blitzed him.
intense.
Yeah.
But I don't think Marlon's the same fighter to go out and blitz like that. TJ, you can get away with it because TJ is more of a speed finesse guy. If you blitz Marlon Moraes, he's going to hit you with something you're not going to see coming.
Yeah, I don't think he should employ that same strategy. But
But
then
you kind of, but to a
I think it
point,
was
you
safe
kind of
against
do have to
TJ.
blitz
TJ
him.
making that it's extreme cut. You know.
But in another breath, you also kind of do have to blitz him, but not necessarily. You just kind of got to walk him down, I guess, and try not to get hit on the outside. Fuck. Because that's where he's going to want to take it right away. He's going to want to take it from the start of the fight. I bet you he's going to walk him down, grab an underhook, and put him up on the cage. That's what I think. And then do that for 5 rounds with
Be
some
smart.
takedowns.
Be a smart strategy.
I think it's similar to be similar to the DJ fight. So, yeah.
So you think Marlon needs to break his foot in order for Cejudo to win, like DJ?
No,
how that
I
fight
just
was
mean
4-.
his takedowns.
How that fight was 2-2 and going into the 5th, and then they did the broken foot thing. That's not what you're saying.
No, what I'm saying is he needs to not get taken down by like 7 different inside trips and get put on his ass 7 different times. You know,
Gotcha.
because that does matter when we're talking about a scoring fight.
Yeah. Well,
It may not be pretty, but neither was Dominic Cruz. Dominic Cruz is the same way. No one likes to watch Dominic Cruz fight.
I
because
like watching Dominic Cruz fight.
Yeah, you do, but the masses do not
This
because
is-
Dominic Cruz does the same thing Henry Cejudo needs to do to beat Marlon. He gets hit, he hits, gets out of the way, takes you down, doesn't really do much on top, but he keeps you down there until you need to get back on your feet, and then when you get back on your feet, he hits you a couple times, then puts you back on your ass. That's what he needs to do.
I think that sums it up, man. I don't
Yeah.
disagree at all.
Well,
I think that's today's show, homies.
Motherfuckers.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody. If you're new to the show, you can catch us on WBUZ 95 on radio.net or the Orange Radio app. That's on Thursday nights at 6 p.m. Out here on the West Coast. If you're on Eastern Standard Time, that's 9 p.m. You can find us wherever podcasts are put out as well. We got video up on YouTube.
Head over to SWATandMay.com, grab yourself a nice shirt like this one.
We got some new ones coming soon, too.
Yep, for sure.
Thanks, everybody.
Peace.
Peace.